I'll nominate Chris Pratt.
You run?
Anybody
Sure.
second it?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Hey, thank you.
Now I don't have to come to the meetings anymore.
Did you know this was going to happen tonight?
Well, it's on the agenda, but I didn't know.
It's going to be you, huh?
No.
You think we can do the next item on the agenda as quickly?
Yes. I was in the middle of dinner.
Let's skip right to the Southwick Historical Society. We can review the budget later.
Sorry.
And how is everyone tonight?
Dana?
Welcome, Lee.
I'm glad to hear that.
So you are applying for monies to
Hey, I'm on the
redo
top.
the roof
Wow.
of the Morehouse.
Yes, we are.
Is it the whole roof or is it just a portion?
It is the whole roof. It is, by estimation, 26 square on the roof. So
Okay.
26 square feet.
26
Squares.
squares.
26
Materials.
squares.
Of material.
That's what, 33 square feet per square?
100 square feet per square.
It's 100 square feet per square?
Yes, 10 by 10.
Oh, cedar?
Yeah. Now, I don't know whether you've had the chance to look at the application or not, but
They've just received.
Doing it right now.
okay.
You want to watch the DVD while you're reading this?
Actually, they
I
probably
do
should
have two
it.
eyes.
I can't read and watch DVDs. How am I going to eat the popcorn? Give me more credit than I got coming, Dennis.
Well, he heard everybody say they want to get out of here quickly, so.
Is the amount requested include stripping and,
Yes, it does.
okay. What about if they find any rot?
You will see that there is a line item labeled contingency, which is specifically intended to address that.
And any funds that aren't used are then returned to the
Correct?
historical fund of the CPC.
Yes, they are.
And this is being done in keeping with the way it was done 20-something years ago?
This is the same as it was done in 1991 when Ernie Sattler, the late contractor out of West Granville, did it at that point in time. We actually did it in three steps, so it spread the harm a little bit.
Who in the CPC here has actually set foot in the Morehouse? Besides myself. Ruth, do you have? Anybody else?
I have.
You have. You're not in the CPC though.
Dennis, have you been in there?
I did.
Yes.
I did stop by and look at the roof.
Hmm?
Yes, I stopped by today and looked at the roof
Oh, that's good.
from the road. Pretty yucky.
Well, there's a lot of nice stuff inside the museum. If you get a chance, you ought to go through it. So keeping that roof watertight is certainly very, very important.
Yeah, I remember before we did the wood shingle roof back in 91, that we had asphalt shingles blowing off by the square after each windstorm. They were so poorly applied. And I remember one light fixture, the light bulb filled up with water, and it was still live. I didn't pull that chain.
Wow. That's kind of scary.
Oh, yeah.
And you're looking to have all this work completed by when? I know it's in here. 2018.
August 21,
Yeah, August
2018.
You're not gonna start this till spring?
Yes. It's not a good time to start it.
Well, good thing you had a roof raising dinner at the Cove when you did. It wouldn't happen now.
Oh, you are so correct.
We were probably the last ones in there.
Does there appear to be any interest in buying it as a business? And yeah, you're laughing.
Take your golf course after.
Somebody should turn it into their own mini
We
mansion.
can just call it the
right across from the
19th
lake
hole.
there.
The 19th hole.
No, it's a gorgeous place.
Well, it hasn't always been, but
Yeah.
The contractor is going to do the work, one that you've worked with before.
well, we solicited bids from 16 different businesses. We had about a half dozen that actually responded, and then only 2 submitted bids. And of those 2, there's one gentleman that who is head and shoulders as far as experience and as far as price and everything else is reflected in our bid estimates there.
Good.
Bids in here? Are there bids in here?
Bids are not included in that because there hasn't been any signing of a contract. So, I'm not sure that he would appreciate, having a contract divulged before it's even been signed.
Most contracts are divulged before they're signed.
Okay. Yeah.
You can make a copy available if you'd like to see it.
I've got a copy with me if you want to take a look.
If you could do both of them, that would be great. Both the bids,
Yeah.
just so you can compare apples to apples.
You have a budget right in there.
I do.
We do. You skipped over it.
Oh, no.
I thought it was kind of important.
We'll let the people go first, then, instead of boring them to death.
Okay, historical has $104,609.99. Okay,
Yep.
I got that today from the accounting department.
I don't see my name on this list anywhere. I guess I ain't getting none. I check.
Say what?
The Sutton Historical Fund.
No.
Well,
Hysterical.
I think you have to die first, so I wouldn't. Don't be wishing for
All right,
anything.
let's not work on that one then, okay?
You don't want to work a memorial fund here?
No memorial ones. Jeez, that's a tough audience here.
Freezing up here, isn't it?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
could hear you talking when I was approaching the building.
Good?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Just in case you think it's airtight in here.
Because the windows are open, that's
The
why.
windows are open.
That'll do it.
Dennis did that earlier, just to cool things off.
If you wish to take a look.
They're all open.
They're all open.
I can't see that side.
She has experience with this, apparently. She knew right where the tool was.
Yeah. She has the window.
Can't turn it, but it's closed anyway. Okay.
Get the other two. If this one's closed.
I don't know. We'll find out. the road.
Yeah, that's close.
John, they also have a film that they've used for fundraising, if you'd like to take a break and watch it.
How long is it, really?
It's about 8 minutes. Dennis?
You
About
ready?
8 minutes?
Yeah.
Let it roll.
Well, you gotta move over there and sit.
I can see it from here.
Yeah.
Got the light.
Set the lights down.
You got the light, Ruth?
It's gonna be a movie?
Hello, my name is Joseph Moore. Why don't we go up to the house?
You gotta edit the thing, yeah.
The year is 1751. This is an important year for me, for I just purchased 3 parcels of land in this vicinity. We are located in an English colony in North America, which existed from 1630 until 1776. There are 13 colonies here that will make up the area that will someday become the United States of America. But I'm jumping ahead. In this year, 1751, the first hospital in the colonies will be established in Pennsylvania colony. James Madison, who will become the 4th President of the United States, will be born in Virginia colony. This area is the province of Massachusetts. The American Revolution, which will separate these colonies from Great Britain, will not take place for another 24 years. Why don't we go inside and we can finish the conversation in the house? Just south of the province of Massachusetts is the colony of Connecticut. I owned a homestead in Connecticut near the copper mines. When the copper mines are no longer producing copper, the mines will be converted so they may be used to incarcerate felons. It will be named Newgate Prison. History will tell you that I died as a prisoner of the Revolutionary War at the hands of the British in 1776. Later, my son Roger acquired title to this homestead and lived here with his family. But again, I'm jumping ahead. July 1st, I sold my homestead in Connecticut and bought this property. Within a year or two, I had this residence constructed. While living in this house, my wife, Mary Stevens Moore, and I had 8 children, but 3 died before the age of 20. Our son Roger lived in this house all his long life, from 1751 to 1838. My grandson Roger Sherman Moore also grew up here and made further renovations. At the time, this was a so-called salt box house, with 2 stories across the front, but only 1 story and a long sloping roof along the rear. The front of the house had only 5 windows, not 9 as it does today. The most important feature of the house was the central chimney, which provided at least 5 fireplaces and a bake oven. This was the physical and spiritual part of the home for heating, cooking, baking, and light. Surrounding the fireplaces were 7 rooms, a loft, an attic, and a full basement. Floors were random widths of northern pine. The walls were wide pine boards, not plaster, and the ceiling was exposed joist with the planed underside of floorboards. With soot and smoke from the fireplaces and little to no paint or whitewash on any of the interior surfaces, this was a very dark place in comparison to homes of today. Such was the place when I died as a prisoner of war at the hands of the British in 1776. Several years after my son acquired title to this residence, he made several renovations, probably about 1800 to 1850. Included in the work was raising the roof and adding a second story to the rear, putting in all new window frames and such, and replacing the trim under the front eaves. Inside, we had most of the old-fashioned wax sheathing replaced with paneled wainscoting and plaster walls, and the exposed ceiling was covered with plaster overlap. A few years later, he had the woodwork repainted, the upper plaster walls painted in colors, and stenciled bordering added. About 30 this location, selling not only rum, but egg punch, toddy, and grog. The other notable attributes are the stencil borders that Roger Moore had put in all 9 rooms of the main section of the house. Their presence indicates financial security, but is a step below that of merchants or others who could afford imported wallpaper. The various patterns of the stenciling found throughout the house are similar but not identical to those documented elsewhere in the Northeast. I invite you to wander about the premises, observing the architectural and decorative aspects of the house. There are many historic houses which you may have visited that have the same architectural design as this one does. It is one of the few museum houses retaining so much of the stenciling of the early 1800s. When you tour the house, you will see the stenciling.
The Historical Society here in Southwick has proudly maintained the Moore House with many reservations.
The maintenance has been done over the years with fundraising events.
Currently, the house needs a new roof, and we would like to provide one that is typical of the era of the Moore House. Cedar shakes, while not common today, would help maintain the look and authenticity of the house.
Please consider making a deductible donation to our fundraising efforts.
Make checks payable to the Southwick Historical Society. Our P.O. Box is 323.
Also, to learn more about the preservation and the reservations, please visit our Facebook page.
Oh, you added 2 new members.
Yes, the meeting starts
Sneaking
early.
in, you shut the
It's
lights off and people pop up.
6:30.
6:30.
7 o'clock is what you put on the agenda.
Yep, it was 7 o'clock on the agenda.
I also said Tuesday, but since the 29th was
That was corrected.
repeated twice, it was never.
When was it corrected?
It was
You
never
corrected. I got them down. You
There you
corrected.
go.
This one says 6:30.
7 o'clock.
Look at your agenda.
Well, that's when you print it, but the one
You
you sent
printed
out
that.
said 7. And Mr. Gunn
Okay.
questioned the date, and there was never any emails.
There was
made.
never
If you
any
want, we can
subsequent
record the
email to
movie.
that.
We can rewind the movie.
I-
Dennis, can you cue that back up from the beginning again?
No, that's okay. I'm just saying, in the future, if there's any question about when the meeting's held or the time, that you make sure it's communicated to all members, because in the past you have confirmed that.
Okay, then. Does anyone, you want to review what you're asking for these 2 folks?
Okay.
How much money they raised?
I'm putting in a request for $25,000 to help pay for the restoration of the Moore House roof at 86 College Highway.
Dan, did you have any questions on those bids?
No, I saw was the one. It looked pretty good. I've heard of that company. I haven't heard anything bad about them at all.
Sure.
That's good. For what they're proposing, it's right along the lines. You have the second one? Oh, it's coming in.
Does it say the starting date in there?
It just has a finishing date of August 24th, I think, 21st.
He hasn't given you a breakdown on what his plans are? This is Michael Bisgrove?
There's nothing with the form itself there, but it's going to be very similar to what was suggested by the other contractor. There's some questions as to how many buildings have been done by this gentleman. So,
This guy here?
yeah.
That's the first one. What the entailed and the work and the costs.
Who's going to be writing the contract? Will you guys be writing the contract?
We will be writing the contract. I mean, if there's an individual here that wants to be, in charge of overseeing it, I have no problem with that either.
We have a brand new vice chair. Just try me out.
That's cool.
I don't have a problem with that. When we first purchased the property, the roof that was on it was put over flake board, and they tried to, they stretched the courses this way, they stretched the courses this way, and 2 nails per shingle if things went well. I came across some that had 1.
That's why they blew up.
And that's why they blew up. Yeah, Phil Jackier was up there with his telephone, truck, with his little cherry picker on 1 or more occasions, patching the roof before we had started this process.
Anyone want to make a motion?
Is this a repair?
It's a replacement of the
Replacement.
roof.
Replacement of the entire roof.
Did it say how old that roof is that's on there now?
The first section was put on in 1991. Second section was put on in 1993. And I think there was a third section that was done in 95 or 6.
Early 90s.
Yeah.
But they were stretched on, they weren't put on tight.
Well, those shingles, the wood shingles, were put on appropriately. I know at Old Sturbridge Village we have wood roofs. If there's any, shade or anything, you don't get 25 or 20 years, you might get 15 years. But that location is just ideal as far as, keeping a roof going.
Be less susceptible to rot.
Oh yeah, it dries.
Right.
Yeah, dries right out.
Dry is good.
I'll make the motion to approve the requested amount of $30,000.
25, I believe.
That's 25, but then there's contingency, isn't
Well-
there, of 6,600?
I put in a request for 25,000.
Okay. All right.
I don't expect something for nothing. If
Okay, then the CPC funding, at the CPC funding request of $25,000 to be used for the replacement of the roof of 86 College Highway.
I'll second.
Any other discussion?
So this isn't considered a repair?
no, this is going to be a
Because
total.
Wouldn't that be, correct me if I'm wrong, CPC money can't be used for repairs, right?
No.
It can be used
No.
as,
Or maintenance?
Maintenance, right.
So this would be a replace as far as I would say, and as far as repair would be,
This is a roof restoration project, is what it is.
no other questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
I'm going to abstain, John.
And abstain?
There you go,
Thank you.
William.
Thank you.
They'll write out the warrant article, and it will be on the May annual
Okay.
meeting.
Yeah, that sheet there.
Oh, it's here. Oh,
Thank you.
Dennis, thank you for showing us the film.
And thank you for your time. And I appreciate your support.
thank you, Lee.
Thank you, William.
Have a good night.
And I encourage anybody that hasn't been through the Morehouse to take the time to make that visit during the summer when they're open. It's worthwhile seeing some of Southwick history there.
Okay, back to the budget.
Before we do that, we got to appoint a point person to work with them. Would that be Chris Pratt?
I'll do it. Nobody else wants to.
There you go. We have a volunteer.
Did you all hear that? Chris Pratt will be the point person to work with them from the board, okay?
Now the budget? What do we, I know we got, I think 51,000 in the first round, and a combination of the second and third, we got 63, for a total of 114,000 from the state. Is that indicated in here?
I don't believe we received it yet. When I was down in the accounting office this morning, they didn't think we had
It was
this.
on the CPC website, though.
Yeah.
It was?
Yeah.
It sounds like a lot.
We got quite a bit compared to other communities.
Wow.
Great.
It's because we have the 3%.
Right.
Yeah.
We get more in the second and third than we did in the first round, which is great. Any questions for Ruth on the budget?
So these figures then wouldn't reflect
No.
those at this point. So we can take that 114 and then divvy it up to 10, 10, and 80 accordingly.
10, 10, 10, and 7.
That's what I just told him. I said, I like the way he thinks.
10, 10, 10, and 70. Okay.
When the accounting office lets me know that that is in, would you like me to make a copy and email it to you guys? Or do you want to wait till your next meeting to see it?
Sure, would like it.
Email
Yeah, that'd be
it?
great. Yeah. And Doug did make that motion, but it never passed. Doug did make that motion, but it never passed. 10, 10, 80.
Good guy.
Yeah.
Any other comments or questions on the budget?
What is the $280,000 for North Pond?
Where is that?
Down at the bottom, go all the way down the bottom, open space, $280,000. What is that?
That's what came out of open space.
Yeah, the rest came out
The
of
rest
the general
came out of the
fund.
general fund, so there was 1
Oh,
million.
okay, so that's the $1 million
Yeah.
right now that.
It was split between the two.
Now, whatever happened, like over the summer, I saw an article in the paper about $1 million for purchasing part of the property.
Well,
Oh,
that
yes.
came from Fish and Wildlife. They did buy their part.
They had to close before June 30th.
Right. They had a deadline.
Their property, they have property over there that they've preserved. So this property abuts theirs to protect them from whatever happens to the
So that
remaining.
was all Fish and Wildlife, that was none of our funds,
Correct.
the $1 million, which
Yeah.
that can't be released until all of the funds are raised.
The only other thing that was done along that border, the water department wants to put in some kind of a line, and we voted on that at town meeting.
Yes. I
Because
was
that
there.
had to be done at the same time.
Right.
Okay.
Do we have any
Dennis
deal?
is still here, but I wanted you to have him on that.
Is this about the golf course?
Nope.
No? Explain it, Dennis.
What's that? The 61B?
this is already voted on at town meeting, already approved for the parcel on Laurel Road for the APR. So it hasn't been finalized by the state, but I recommended that Ruth would get a request for purchase order in for the amount of money, so it would be ready by the time they do close on it shortly, hopefully.
Okay. Just minutes and mail.
That was me.
That's the only mail?
Well, most of the other mail was so outdated, I didn't put it in there.
And what about the minutes?
The minutes, you got 2 sets. If you remember, this was the short meeting that we had up here, and then we had an annual open meeting to the public. So those are the 2 sets.
So all you got left is just the minutes?
Yeah.
It's okay if I be excused?
Sure.
Well, thank you. I have a one-call away meeting going on simultaneously
Okay.
over at another building. I have to be the president of.
Yep, we should probably be there then.
Yes, all right.
Thank you, David.
Take care, thanks for coming.
My magic elixir of life.
This is the one I want to do first. Not that it matters.
We should probably straighten out the meeting time. Do we want to make it 6:30 every time we meet, so there's no confusion?
That's fine. It didn't matter to me, but I just needed to know what the time was.
Yeah. That's fine. I'd rather have 7, but 6:30 works okay.
I can do 6:30.
I can do anything.
Karen?
That's fine with me.
That all right with you, Bob?
That's fine with me, John.
So it'll always be at 6:30, so there'll
Okay.
be no confusion.
You still have to post it. If it's posted for 7, then it's not 6:30, so whatever it's posted for is the time.
Well, we're gonna make sure it's posted for 6:30.
This was on the website for 6:30. That's where I got it from.
Any questions on the short meeting up here on May 3rd? The minutes?
It's pretty straightforward to me.
Yeah, you discussed 2 motions here. A motion was made and seconded. Motion was made and seconded.
There are 2
Oh,
different
to
sets
accept
of
the
minutes.
minutes, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
We have a motion on those.
So moved.
The second?
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? On to the second set. We're chatty this night.
Thank you for putting this in big font.
Pardon?
Thanks for the size font.
I don't know why I did that.
Well, it helps me.
Good.
I'm saying thank you.
No complaint here either.
when you post our next meeting, could you at the same time send the minutes so we don't have to sit here and read them?
Can do that. Gave you a pen.
Yeah?
Yep, that's okay. Use that one. There it is.
There it is. Motion?
I'll make a motion to accept the annual meeting minutes of May 3rd.
Second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Well, I usually borrow those from Dennis. Dennis used to have a pair for me available. He still always has a pen for me. you.
Don't tell me you're going to keep something.
I'm gonna recycle for you.
Did you get the other minutes there to sign?
Good job to do that.
I haven't heard of anybody else that's coming before us for applications. Has anybody heard any rumors about anything?
What applications?
I said I haven't heard anything about any other applications coming before us. Has
Besides
anybody-
the school?
Pardon?
Besides the school?
Besides the school, I haven't heard from them.
What is the school looking for?
Playscape.
Help with their playground. They're putting in a new playground.
Oh, the swamp?
Yes.
Yeah. They're gonna move it over by the track, I think.
Well, that's what they want to do, but they haven't even really looked at what can they do to fix the irrigation or the problem that they have right
And
now.
that's, I would say, a bigger problem than,
As of the October
Even
4th
over
meeting,
there?
they really haven't done anything for the school committee.
I thought the problem with the water was strictly on the other side. Does it go all the way across?
comes right through their parking lot into the play area.
And Playscape is the lowest spot around.
Right.
But I thought they were gonna move it over by the track.
Well, that whole area, there'll still be a playground area that'll flood. I mean, even though they might move the equipment, you're still gonna have that area full of water.
They want to move it down to the other corner of the building. So along the backside of the school, they want to go to the other, where they now have a
Soccer field, right.
So I think they want to take up that soccer field that they have.
They probably should look into an infiltration system.
Mm-hmm.
They're not looking into anything. They have it in their mind. They want this new playground. They want to move it and put it where they want it, and they expect us just to hand them
I didn't
some
think they were
money.
moving it. I thought
That's
they
probably
were,
not gonna
I
happen.
thought they were getting.
No, I don't think so.
I thought they were getting a whole new playground.
That's what they want
to
to
do a
do.
whole new
Yeah.
playground instead of seeing what they can do to fix what they have there.
All fixing is the water problem.
Yeah, and my issue at the town meeting, where some people probably thought I came down hard on them, is they came to this meeting on April 6th requesting the funds, and I asked about other funding sources. They said they had $100,000 in their budget. 2 days before is when they met, and in their minutes, it has Mr. Houle saying that if we get the money from the CPC, then they can move those funds and use it for something
Oh,
else.
wow.
So they intentionally misled us.
Right.
And that's what really sent me through the roof on the school department.
Wasn't that money?
evening.
Yeah.
I would do it, yeah.
Wasn't
Yeah.
that money raised specifically for the playground?
They put now I think it's down to $525,000 for capital expenditures.
Oh.
But they were originally asking for $600,000, and there was like 6 items. And within those 6 items, if it's approved, they can move that money around as they would like. That's what Mr. Presnell, when he addressed.
Peter and Paul principle.
So if we give them the money, they don't have to spend that $100,000, and they can move funds around for any other project that they want.
Not with the $100,000 we gave them.
No, we would give
No.
them the money, and they were here saying how it doesn't all have to be done at once, and it's $300,000, but they're only telling people it costs $100,000. I don't think the community realizes it's $300,000 they want to spend. And yeah.
$300,000 for a playground.
For a playground.
Wow.
That, we suggested that they go look at alternatives, and so far they haven't looked at alternatives. Like I said, they misled us. Yeah. And, the other part is they have an E&D budget that has probably about $650,000 in it. I don't know what it is now. They're extras. But last year they had to give back $160,000, which is coincidentally what they're asking us for, because I'll say they mismanaged funds and they had to give it back to the town. They would argue that, but my conversation with Mr. Fox was that they usually have about $10,000 left in that account, so that they would have to give back, so it's not unusual. But the $160,000 is very unusual. So they mismanaged their funds, and now they're coming to us, trying to get the funds from us. And we fund projects that truly don't have any other funding available to them to subsidize a $24.5 million budget. And I know you're not going to agree with me on some of this, but that's my standing on that.
Well, we haven't heard any sounds at all from that direction at this point in time.
They put it in some of the meetings within like the last month that they are planning.
They're planning on
to come back to us.
Okay. And I think we should meet in April, because I'll be doing the budgets for next year, and we can review those. And when the warrant article's written, I'll send that out so you can take a look at that. We might want to come and talk about it.
We had a very similar problem to that on the soccer field, where we had a low spot and there was just no way to grade it out. So we put in a drain, an infiltration system, and all the water just goes down and dissipates. So there's never a puddle there.
What's a cost of something like that run?
Well, that one we did ourselves, so it didn't cost much at all. You just
You didn't have to hire out the...
you go over the Aero concrete and get a catch basin. You dig a big area, fill it with stone, and grade over the top of it. You put the felt paper so it doesn't feed back in.
Fill it up.
Doesn't the catch basin have to be pretty big, though, to accommodate holding all that?
This has to be the low spot.
It's about whatever they normally are on the street, 2x2 or 2.5 by 2.5.
Have you seen the playground when it gets flooded?
There's a lot of water. I mean, that
Huge amount.
that whole entire parking area
It's not going to be a
drains
2
there.
by 2 or 4 foot catch basin. Maybe a 20 by 20 by.
Oh, you're talking about the leach
No,
field?
the leach field's got to be big. The
It's gotta
catch
be
basin
huge,
doesn't
but,
need to be huge.
Not the catch basin. All you need is one at the
As
low
long as the
spot.
water goes there.
Oh, okay, so you're taking from the catch basin and then out into the leach
Dispersion.
field.
Yes.
Dispersion into the leach
Right.
field.
So between the catch basin and the leach field,
We have a huge infiltration system right behind the inn. And
Yes.
another one as you're
That's
going
true.
up into the park, between the road and the parking lot, there's another huge infiltration system. Because otherwise
They can
we would
handle a lot of water.
have a huge detention pond
Yeah.
right there at the opening of the park.
but I'm thinking of the cost of sanitary leach fields, you're talking some significant bucks just for a personal property owner. Now you're doing this on a larger scale. I'm just thinking, what are you
No, it
talking,
doesn't have to be
100,000?
Title V sand or anything.
50,000?
This has to be crushed stone.
Well, and you're going to have to pay prevailing wage, and you're going to still have to make that old playground ADA compliant.
Yeah.
So it's probably less money to move it and create a new playground than to rehab that. I don't know, but that would be my estimation.
But like Chris points out, you're still going to have a pond in the middle of the playground where the
Right.
kids
The
go out for recess.
we're talking about maybe utilizing their existing leach field, their septic leach field now, because they're going to be.
Yeah, they're going to be on sewer.
One of the propagators.
Yeah, I have
of
no
that-
idea whether that would work or not. We'd have to have some.
One of the propagators of the problem was the road, because all the road pitched into the parking lot, and the
Right.
parking lot pitched in, and that's why we got so much water in there. So, because 57's been regraded,
Yeah.
hopefully that's going to mitigate
It'll take
a
some of it.
part of
Yeah.
the problem.
No, there's still that. It's a big
Oh, it's
parking
still
lot.
going to be it's still going to be a problem there. And the taxpayers have to pay for it. And if there's money in these accounts to pay for it, why are we going to the well again when we already have money?
Right.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
All right.
Aye. Opposed? Nobody.
Everybody wants to leave, John. I don't know why.
Yeah.